For today's Cyber CEO episode,
without a doubt, I'm over the moon, and you guys are not paying me for this. So I'm just saying, it's like, I could not be happier. He is my Alfred. Yes, 𝗙𝗲𝗹𝗹 is amazing. We keep each other on the camera and just muted, and he's doing his work and I'm doing mine. It's almost like an accountability partner. He is a go-getter. He's very proactive. He doesn't sit and wait for me. Even when I don't have things to do, he's trying to think of my business. So that's the number one thing about it. And for the record, nobody here tried to steal my guy.
welcome to Cyber CEO, wherein we talk about how our cyberbackers helped our cyber CEOs take their businesses to the next level. Cyber CEO is powered by Cyberbacker, the world's leading provider of admin support services from anywhere in the world to anyone in the world. Please visit our website www.cyberbacker.com for more details. Another awesome week here at Cyberbacker. My name is Jello. We're back with another episode of Cyber CEO. And of course, we have a very special guest on the show. Mark, how are you doing today?
I'm great, Jello. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes,
very excited.
We are too very excited to have you here. Again, we know you're very busy, so we really appreciate your time. Now, we have a lot of listeners who are business owners just like yourself. So I need your help. Can you introduce yourself to our audience? Maybe we can start with, what's your role in the business, Mark?
Okay, well, my name is 𝗙𝗻𝗃. I'm from Keller Williams Realty Landmark 2 here. I'm a licensed real estate salesperson in New York City and have been doing so for 16 years. And yes, I'm going to throw this out there up front. I should have gotten an assistant centuries ago. So I'm a slow learner.
So this is your first time working with someone virtual then, or just having an assistant? Both.
Yeah, both. I've partnered with agents in the past that have been kind of in a semi-administrative role / like I'm mentoring them, but never to this extent of like, all right, committed and supporting me.
Gotcha. Now, how was the transition though? Because you mentioned this is your first time getting an assistant or working with someone virtual. So was it a big change for you and your business?
There was a bit of growing pains. More so because I'm a very high I if we look at the DISC personality, which means everything else is low, including organizational skills. So I did not have my systems in place before me, which is one of the reasons why I wanted someone. I mean, just truth be told, the metaphor I always use, I wanted to find my Alfred to my Bruce Wayne or Batman. Well, maybe I'm Batman now. I'm not Bruce Wayne yet. We'll get there. But my Alfred is helping me a lot, So yeah, so that was really I think that was what I had indicated to your associate when we were interviewing each other.
Yes.
And I said, I'm looking for my Alfred.
There we go. And now you found your Alfred. That's the most important
thing
now.
Without a doubt. Yeah, I'm over the moon, and you guys are not paying me for this. So I'm just saying, it's like I could not be happier. He is my Alfred. Yes, 𝗙𝗲𝗹𝗃 is amazing.
Now, how did you find out about Cyberbacker in the first place?
So, there's a few agents in my office using Cyberbacker. I was circling the idea of a virtual assistant within about a year ago. Yeah. And then they just started pushing Cyberbacker. I mean, not pushing, just recommending because of the mere fact of the plug and play aspect.
Yeah.
And they were very happy with the training beforehand. Considering my limitations with organization and being automated and systemized and stuff, which is where I'm getting to now, is I was like, I don't know if I could train someone in doing the way I do business, and then I'd be afraid what I do to them mentally. Too, I don't know if you want to enter this brain, so yeah, in that aspect, yeah. So when they told me about their successes and how much they liked that they were extremely, their assistants were extremely ready to go that it made it so much easier, because I've also, a lot of them had virtual assistants in the past before. Some people in my office don't have cyberbackers. And when I hear how they're going, I'm a very non-pushy, just the way I do sales, and I'm just, all right, I'm just listening, gathering information. Yeah. I do say, well, this has been my experience, and they're still playing catch up with their assistants a year later. And that's where I'm going. Wow, thankfully I went this route.
There we go. And now you're working with your cyberbacker, of course. And for how long now? When did you start?
We're at the 6-month period. We started in April 18th, the day my life changed. We started April 18th. It's been, I will say, in the beginning was a challenge. One of, again, being the high I, the low everything else. It took me a while to adapt to committing to a calendar, in that aspect. Yeah. So, which is a big help that he's been such a great help for. But that said, it took me a little while to not gel with him. So thankfully, the interview process was so great that I knew that I was going to get along with him, but it just, it's always the beginning of first off of a relationship, and then a working relationship, and how I do things. And then I have very little ego when it comes to like do it my way or the highway. I try to give him a lot of responsibility and say, listen, take the ball and run with it, and then and then you quarterback, and I'll catch. So
now, you already mentioned it, going through that hiring process, but how did you know though that he was the perfect fit for what you needed in your business?
So the first off is what was really helpful was our initial. Not yours and I's, but your colleagues. I'm brain farting on her name right now. I want to say Heidi. Was it?
Yeah, Heidi.
No.
Yeah,
Heidi. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Lovely person. We had a really great meeting to find out about what I needed for my business. And then you guys have your own version of the KPA at Keller Williams. We use a KPA, which is like a DISC personality, but as an assessment, like a career assessment profile. And so I gotta say, so the lightning round interview thing, out of those 6, there were 5 I could have hired.
Right there.
Yes. Thankfully, even though I'm a slow learner, I'm quick to make decisions when I do. And, I was able to narrow it down to the 2 with the help of it wasn't Heidi that was on the call. Maybe it was Heidi, but one of your colleagues had assisted me throughout the process throughout the interview. Yeah. She wasn't intrusive. She didn't try and sway me either way. But I was able to narrow it down to 2. The 2 that I liked the most, or that I use, like I try to use my gut for most of it, or for a lot of decision making. And then when it came down to what I needed most, which was organizational, I saw that he had actually scored higher than the other individual. That it was neck and neck. And I will tell you, before I looked at that score, I was leaning towards her. And then I saw that he had more of what I needed test-wise, and I said, nope, he's the guy.
He's the guy.
Yeah, it's it. He's it.
And now you've been working for 6 months. Again, you're Alfred, right? Now, talk to me about him. Regarding tasks, what are the tasks that you leverage off to him every day so you can focus on the growth of your business, of course?
So what we did early on was create 2 lines of work. Because I'm sure every agent, I don't know if it's only agents and brokers, it could be other people in other aspects of industries, but every agent here, every day, outside of your lead gen and follow-up time, every day could be a mixed bag.
True.
So I have him, so we sat down and I said, all right, here's the short term or the urgent stuff. So if all of a sudden I get a new buyer and I need buyer brokerage agreement stuff put together and set it up for electronic signature, you set that up. Like I'll contact him on an app that we use, Voxer. So it's like a walkie-talkie app, which is great because I'll be out on saying, hey, I need you to send so-and-so this, set it up. And then there's the long-term ones because I have a vision for where I want my own business to go. And I'm slowly building a team. And there's marketing aspects. So it's like, I'll need you to for instance, I want to do some branding for a certain neighborhood in New York. So I need you to collect some images together, and this will be part of like either a video or even print stuff that I want to use at a certain point in time. So it'll be on a long-term list, you know? So I'm like, hey, listen, if I'm not talking to you and I'm busy on appointments and you have nothing to do, you can go to that list thing. You know, but I'm also, you know, on the flip side, I've had a million jobs before becoming a realtor. I know that there are slow days. There are days where you might sit around and not do anything. So I don't stress. I have a lot of colleagues who stress is like, oh my God, I have to give my assistant something to do. I'm like, no, you know what? Because I've been an assistant in the past, and some days business is just, there's nothing, and you just let them say. And I just, all right, you know, it's like, it's a good day for him. You know, it's all good. I mean, but it's the reality of it. I think early on, you know, especially as self-employed individuals and business owners, we're always looking at the bottom line, and we're always looking at ROI, you know, return on investment. So I decided early on, I'm not going to let that be a stressor in my life. And if there happens to be a day or 2 or 3 that are slow, okay, let it be slow. Let me be grateful that it's slow, because sometimes it's so
fast, everything,
so fast and crazy, especially New York, that it's, you know, all right, let's just slow it down. So it's all good. But I hope that answers your question so far.
But I guess I think that's a good suggestion right there for all of our listeners. Of course, think about the long-term and the short-term goals, the things that have to be done today, and some of the things that could be done, let's say, within the next week, next month. I think that's a good way to have your cyberbacker be productive, even if there are those slow days, right?
Yeah. And I would say is having unloaded a lot of the stuff that I hate doing. And especially, like, listen, it's obvious I like to hear my own voice, right? Although in sales, they say talk less, listen more, right? But this is a podcast. So I will say, really, in the beginning, it was just about checking off the stuff that I really despise doing, like running comparable marketing analysis stuff. I taught him how to do that for sales and for rentals. New York is a very rental heavy market. I'll get a lot of rental listings, and that one's a little more, a lot more fast paced than sales. And obviously I got sales too. So it'll be, and there are very different ways of doing that. And not only that, it's also very different platforms for depending on what region. Like if I have a sale listing in Manhattan, he can't use the same MLS that we use in Queens or Brooklyn. So he's had to learn multiple, not only learn multiple platforms, but then also learn how to interpret data a little bit differently, you know, it's been a great symbiotic partnership. You know, I definitely look at it as a partnership because I wanted to be my Alfred. If we look at Batman, Alfred isn't just the butler, you know, he is the partner. You know, he tells Mr. Wayne, you should do this, or Bruce. And also KW is big on, like, you know, your assistant becomes your boss. You know, you know, I'm like, Saucer, you know, if start telling me what to do, you know, because then it gives me more mind share to be able to figure out creatively how to solve a problem for a client, how to move my business forward, how to work on marketing and branding. So, I mean, that's been the big plus of it.
And I like what you mentioned earlier, that it is a partnership, not just you throwing tasks to someone for them to do. Again, it is a partnership. Now, in relation to that partnership, how did this become a successful partnership between you and your cyberbacker? I know for sure some of our listeners might have a difficult time just transitioning into the virtual world. So do you have any tips that you can share, Mark, with our listeners?
Welcome growing pains. You know, it's like you're in the beginning, you know, you're going to be on Zoom every day, you know, Monday through Friday for the most part. I have him part-time. I'm definitely planning on
going full-time,
pushing him to full-time. Now that we're in a shifting market, I'm just keeping a watchful eye on my expenses and growth, but he definitely needs to go full-time because for me to grow even further. I'm happy that I went part-time first though, because it helped me. It wasn't overwhelming. You know, I think that mindset that I spoke about earlier of there are slow days and it's okay if he's not doing, I think that would have been a bigger burden had I went full-time with him. And not been not being a little more tactful and going that route. But yeah, so a big advice there. Actually, a big one is don't do what I did. Prepare beforehand. I say like journal for 2 weeks. Take a daily journal, a work journal. If you don't have one already, because I think the IRS loves if you journal anyway, right? So, and you're accountable for accounting wherever you are. But in any case, journal for 2 or 3 weeks. What your day to day is. Make lists of stuff already, because I kind of did it backwards. Once he joined is when I started doing that. I was like, oh, this was dumb. I should have done this before. I didn't feel like it was a waste because it gave me good time to bond with him, and it also showed him my flaws. You know, if I was going to have the Alfred thing, so I would journal your work habits, your work days, whatever that you want, and then separate the stuff that you really don't like doing and be prepared to show them what you're doing. And then obviously slowly transition to everything that you hate doing, because you can't unload it all at once. True. Definitely not, because there's also a way that I like doing things. Right. So I couldn't just say, hey, I want you to put in listings, put in things, send a DocuSign thing on day one, and then just walk away and think I'm going to carry on my business. And he's going to be, wait, what's going on? And it's going to be me getting frustrated and going back to him and saying, why didn't you do it this way? And I was like, well, you didn't teach me. Right. So to avoid that, I think it's, and that didn't happen with us because I was just patient enough to know I'm going to have to stick on this at this desk for a while. I would also, if you do lead generation and you're going to hire part-time, whatever lead gen, I'm a referral based guy, so I don't necessarily sit down 3 hours in the morning to do my lead gen, because I do other things. I do events and stuff. But say, for instance, if you're a cold caller and you do 3 hours in the morning, I would actually start if you're doing part-time, I would start them at the second half of your day, like 12 to 4 or 1 to 5. Only because in that way you've collected all your data and you can send it to him. Plus you'll have time, especially in the beginning, to really sit down with him and go through everything with him without thinking about, oh, I didn't call so-and-so. I didn't follow up with so-and-so. I didn't do this, you know? And actually at that point, you may want him, because I know a lot of my lead gen based or my cold call based friends, they put follow up in the afternoon. And so it might be beneficial for them in the beginning to listen into your calls, to be a part of that. I wanted my, again, to that high level of partnership that I was looking for. I needed him to understand the business, of course, and how I view the business, my approach to customer service. Yes, and how to maximize all those things. And the only way I thought of how to do it was almost like osmosis, you know, almost like he's shadowing me, you know. So there was a lot of that. Again, I mean, this is the way I run my business. I know there are people that are high Ds or high S's or high C's that run their, you know, they only want someone that they can just give spreadsheets to, and then just don't talk to me, just do spreadsheet. And that's fine. That's what you want. Go for it. That's you know.
But again, basically, just be prepared for the coming of your Cyberbacker, of course, and again, invest in your Cyberbacker. You're gonna be there again, is what you mentioned, at least once a day on Zoom, telling them what they have to do and how you want it done. So I think that's investing in them too. There's a few, maybe an hour, 30 minutes, probably.
It depends on the day. Some days, actually, I'll say this too. Some days we keep each other on the camera and just muted. And he's doing his work and I'm doing mine. And it's almost like an accountability partner. Yeah. You know, because sometimes I work a lot from home. When I'm in the office, it's easy to get tunnel vision because there's other people around working. It's also easy to get distracted, especially with a high eye with a mouth like this. So it's nice to have someone who's there who's also working, even when you're home. And, you know, I know there are apps you could pay for that have that, you know, I can't think of them right now. But I'm like, all right, well, I'm already paying my assistant to be here. You know, I might as well just have him there for that. And it wasn't even thought, it just happened naturally. You know, so I'll have it open, and while I'm doing any work I need to, like he's running through emails and say, or making phone calls, and he's right there. There we go. Yeah.
talk to me about your Cyberbacker. This is my last question for you today. And
Okay.
I know for sure he's going to be able to watch and listen to this once we have this online. So,
So no, I shouldn't say anything bad.
we'd like to know, though, what do you like most about your Cyberbacker? What's the first thing that comes to mind when we talk about him?
He is a go-getter.
Cool.
It's funny. When Haiti and I first spoke,
Mhm.
I specifically said I didn't want someone who's just going to take orders.
Mhm.
I wanted them to take initiative and think outside the box. And even if I hate their idea or whatever, I don't care. I want that consistent thing
Mhm.
that he's brave enough to say, hey, I want to do this media thing.
Mhm.
And he looks at it and then tries something on his own, like a flyer or something.
Yeah.
And then we tweak it together. I don't want it to be just like I tell him what to do and he does it. And he's completely that. And he's always willing to, he's very proactive. That's the word.
Very
Proactive. He doesn't sit and wait for me. Even when I don't have things to do, he's trying to think of my business. So that's the number one thing about him. And for the record, nobody here tried to steal my guy.
They're not. They're not going to take him away from you. And again, we are very, very excited to see where this partnership grows to, of course, for the next couple of months. And again, Mark, thank you very much for dropping by today. I had fun talking to you.
Yeah, likewise, Jello. I'm sorry you didn't get to talk. I'm sorry I did all the time.
Don't worry, next time we'll have you back here and we'll be able to do this again, all right?
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to our daily dose of Cyber CEO. Stay tuned to know more about how Cyberbacker creates a difference in this digital time and age. You can visit our website www.cyberbacker.com and follow our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Spotify.